All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We had some technical difficulties, but I have to say, Monet, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm good. Staying in for the night, just chilling. Still drinking a little wine right now.
Hey, you know what? At this current time, staying inside is probably the best choice for everybody. Unfortunately, with the world today, it's sounds bad. The coronavirus has really taken over the world. Sometimes a couch and a bottle of wine is just the best route to go.
Right? And people out here, they don't know how to behave, so, they got us on lock for sure.
We're on a state of emergency down here, so you know what I mean. A bottle of wine and a couch is really the only thing we can do right now.
Right? You gotta, just to make the best of it.
But I have to ask you, like, taking you back to to the beginning of your musical career, like, what actually inspired you to get into the music industry?
I've been singing since I was a little girl, and I did pursue it at one point in my life, and I kind of gave up on it and, went the route of going to school and all that, and then I ended up, just getting back into it because, I don't know, something that you just, love is always going to, call you and pull you back to it, so I ended up getting back into it, and I felt like something was missing at the time. I was just working like a regular job, and I'm just like, something is missing, and it was definitely like my music, so I just started creating again, and that's how I got back into it.
And also, your debut project was actually called Don't Forget. I have to ask you, what's the inspiration behind that amazing project? And of course, is it still available on the internet to be purchased today?
I appreciate that. Yes, it is still available. It's on all music platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, all that, Amazon. But what inspired me, don't forget, it was, I feel like that song, Don't Forget, that was the first song I actually did for that project. It was like a real situation that I was going through. So it was only right to name the project after that, just because to me that song, it just resonated with me and a lot of people. So, and then the project as a whole, I have a lot of friends who are going through issues, so I kind of absorbed their feelings, and I ended up writing songs for them. Then I had daddy issues and stuff, so it was just easier to tap into that bag of kind of male bashing and different stuff like that. But yeah, so that's kind of what it was.
And I gotta say as well, prior to this interview, I had the opportunity to sit back and listen to your music, and I have to say the song Choices from that project is absolutely phenomenal. It's probably one of my favorite songs actually off your Don't Forget record.
Oh, okay, appreciate that. Yeah, Choices. Yeah, that was a dope song. I do like that song too. I would actually say Change My Number was one of my favorites. But we named it Don't Forget because we kind of said and talked about it, what should the project be named? And said Don't Forget was the first one that I did. And I just felt, like I said, it was a real situation that I was going through. So it only made sense to name it that. But yeah, it was a few people who hit me up about Choices. They like that song too.
And also as well, you were currently signed to the record label, the OPM company. I was wondering, how did yourself and them get connected? And of course, how did that record deal come to be for you?
So with OPM, me and the producer who actually produced my whole project, he already had different songs and stuff with Dom and placements, and at the time, Dom was looking for a female artist, and it just kind of worked out. Me and the producer, we were creating. We didn't have any type of expectations. Yeah, we just started creating music, and then he hit me up Dom's looking for a female artist. Dom had already heard some of my music and stuff that we did, and he was like, man, it's you dope. So I was like, okay, cool, and we just ended up going from there. So, yeah, it's a situation.
And if you don't mind me asking, pertaining to OPM, like, who right now currently, who are your label mates? Like, who is currently signed alongside you?
Right now you got Nico, G4, J305, One Brew, Dom. So we're all working with OPM. Right now I'm the only female artist, but yeah, those are pretty much the main artists that are working under OPM, and then like it's other artists too. Dom is, he's the head of the label, so he works with a lot of people, but those are the main artists.
And also as well, as both of us already know, you actually are being managed as well by Teddy Ballgame. I have to ask you, how did yourself and Teddy get connected? Because I got to say, he is a phenomenal individual.
Yes, Ted is family. Like, he actually grew up with my mom, so he's already been family. So, yeah, he's been in the industry for a while. I actually come to him for some advice, like, what should I do about this? And, he's, like, super busy, so he was super busy, so he would help me and stuff when he could. But then one day we just kind of, like, sat down, and I was like, look, I need you on my side. So we ended up just talking it up, and we agreed, like, all right, we're going to just do this. We decided, like, I'm going to manage you, like, if you're serious, and, yeah, so, yeah, we're a good team.
Hey, most definitely. No, he's a great guy to actually have on your side as well. Like I've got to see how he operates, and he most definitely knows his stuff. So you most definitely sat down with the right manager. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Right. Yep. For sure. Absolutely. You gotta have people like on your side that you trust, and so he's a solid person. Like I didn't want a manager that's just like a manager. I needed somebody who's like family, because I know that they're actually gonna like really put their heart and soul into this as much as I do. So, and somebody that I trust too. So, yeah.
And I also noticed as well that aside from your musical career, you were actually a flight attendant as well. I have to ask you, what's that experience like? And of course, what was one of your most favorite countries that you had the opportunity to go to while doing that profession?
So I flew domestically mostly, but when I did travel for like leisure purposes, I went to Bali. It was a beautiful country. Like it was nice out there. So I would have to say I haven't like went to too many countries. There are places that I do want to go to, but I went to like Jamaica, and different places like that. But I would definitely say Bali. Yeah, it was nice. Like the people in there, just simple living, a lot of greenery. It was a really beautiful country. And I got like a $7 massage out there, so that was like the best part because I love massages. And
$7 is pretty cheap, though. Honestly, $7 is pretty damn cheap for a massage.
Right? I was getting a massage like every day.
And one thing I have to ask you, since that's your profession, the one thing I've always wanted to know when it comes towards flight attendants and whatnot, like, and you travel to the countries, like, is it like you go to the country, you get off the plane, go on another one, and go back home, or do you actually get to stay for a day or so before you return back home?
So like I had mentioned, it's a domestic airline, so we would stay in the States, but typically, like, a trip could be, like, 1 to 4 days. So if it was a day trip and it was a turn, so I can, like, fly somewhere like Seattle and come back. And then if I did have a long layover, it would be anywhere from, like, 10 to 30 hours. So there were some places, like, you could go where they had longer layovers. Like, I had one in Hawaii, and that was pretty cool. And usually they're, like, I would say around 24 hours. When I go to places like that, Hawaii. So yeah, and I kind of became over it. Like I wasn't really wanting to go out anymore. I wanted to come back home and just get stuff done. It's weird because when you fly and travel so much, it's like being home is more of a vacation than actually, going out.
And also as well, you were actually the owner of a of cardiovibe fitness. I was wondering, for our listeners is actually out in your area that don't already know, how do they go about joining your fitness gym? Of course, after COVID-19 and everything, because the world's chaotic right now.
Right. I do have a website, cardiovibe.com, and you can sign up for my mailing. You can sign up, and I can send people emails and stuff. So right now it's kind of virtual. I was out at studios and stuff like that because, they shut everything down. I'm just doing classes virtual. It's kind of like aerobic hip hop fitness, and then I end with like a little bit of yoga and meditation. So yeah, it's a pretty dope class. It's fun. I get a lot of good feedback on it. But I'm actually thinking about taking the classes to the beach. So we'll see when things get a little warmer and things open back up.
And you've also done some amazing work as well with Dungeon Music. How did yourself and Dungeon Music actually get connected?
So yeah, that's the producer who produced my whole first project, and then I have a few more songs with them that's not out yet. But we actually went to school together. We went to high school together, so he was someone that I knew for a while. And like I said before, I was in a place where up to I was getting from work, and I felt like I was missing something, and I was like, I need to get back into my music. And so we ended up linking, and we started just creating again. So it was cool because we already knew each other. So we just started creating music, and yeah, came up with a whole project.
And also in 2019, you actually were featured on Young Nation Volume 2. I have to ask you, how did yourself and Dom actually get connected? And of course, where can our listeners actually check out Young Nation Volume 2 today?
So yeah, Dom, Dungeon Music, he had music with Dom before. So when Dom was looking for a female artist, I ended up, he already heard my music and stuff, so I ended up working with him. And he wanted to have a collective project with all of his artists. So it was all of them on there, Nico, J305, everyone was on the project pretty much. And yeah, we had that song, Boss Moves, that me and Dom did. And the song did really well too, but it's out, same thing, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, pretty much all the music platforms it's out on.
And I have to ask you as well, is there any hard copies available of this project? Because I do know some of our listeners, they really do still love that that compact disc format.
For my project, Don't Forget?
Yes.
There isn't, but when I put out my next project, that is one thing I said I wanted to do, is have a hard copy. It's a lot of things that I had to learn from the first project. I just kind of went in, just lost, and you kind of figure things out as you go. But for the next project, yes, I do want to put that out. But for now, it is available for streaming and stuff.
But I have to ask you as well, what is next for you? Is there anything I happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to promote while we still have you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Well, I am putting out a project soon, so that should be here before the summer. And it's definitely a lot of growth in the project. I'm working with a few more producers too, so it's not one producer have different sounds and stuff to it. But yeah, so people should be on the lookout for that. It'll be out for sure before the summer, so yeah.
And also, this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes onto the radio station, just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to, and of course your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on all your newest projects.
Sure, yeah. So shout out to Dungeon Music, OPM, Shout out to some of the features that I'm gonna have on my next project. We got drummer boy Keyhigh, Airplane James, Kate Franklin, Craig Dove, AJ the One, and some of the producers too that are going to be on there: Jazzy Bubbles, Mike and Keys, Virgin Music. So yeah, shout out to my family, my mom, my brother, my aunt. They're listening. They're listening in right now. So shout out to them, my friends and stuff. Socials. Aysha Monet Music is my IG, so that's Aysha AYSHAMONEC. Excuse me, I'm tripping. Aysha Monet Official. Sorry, Aysha Monet Official is my IG. And well, I just got on Clubhouse, and that is Aysha Monet. So pretty much on those two right now.
And I gotta say, Aysha, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening and just coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM. It was an honor and most definitely a privilege. I'm looking forward to your newest project as well, because I gotta say, you are a very, very gifted artist, and I think the world most definitely needs some more Aysha Monet projects.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me.
You are most certainly welcome. Have yourself a wonderful night.
All right, you as well.